everybody, welcome back here. Sit up straight in the chair. Oh no, that was okay. We're gonna get started working on some chapter 12. Someone said the Canvas content. What Canvas content do we have? What Canvas content? Oh yeah, chapter 10 and 12 Canvas content due on Friday. Let's do that one. That's easy. We got this. Canvas content. Okay, at the 203 mark, Canvas content. Stat 201. Stat 201. Canvas content. Chapter 10 and 12. Okay, let's go do this. So we'll probably do like 2, maybe 3 versions of this. Then we'll switch over to some new material. Switch over to the chapter 12-10 quiz, probably. And here we are. Let's preview it. Okay. First question is, when a sample, and it's best not to read the multiple choice because that's kind of like, then you're like, oh, which one is it? But you want to be able to figure it out without the multiple choice and then define everything in the multiple choice. That is when you really know a question. So a sample is said to have the characteristics that correspond to the population. This sample is said to be what? Representative. So you need to look. It represents the population well. Bifurcated is just a red herring. We don't use that word. Bifurcated means like split into 2. Biased is if your sample doesn't represent the population, it'd be a biased sample. Insignificant is what we talk about p-values. A p-value would be insignificant. If it's above 0.05, it would be statistically insignificant. Response bias is always possible in a survey that requires an answer from a human being. And once again, this is possible. So yeah, definitely. Response bias is when the person doing the survey influences via the questions, their behaviors, or whatever. Somehow it creates a bias in the response. So that is very, very true. Bias in the response. You're at the law of large numbers casino right here. That's a separate question. And the wheel that you're spinning has a probability. The way it looks right here, we'll draw this out. Draw it out. You're about to spin this casino wheel, or like the roulette wheel. So it's like 3 wheels. And on the 3 wheels, this is the first wheel, the second wheel, the third wheel. And it's going to spin and show something on it. It could show like a lemon or a cherry or a bell. And skulls have a probability of 4 out of the 10 things are skulls. So skull has a 40% probability. The lemon has a 30% probability. And we're getting these from this table right here of information. So that's where that information is obtained. The cherry has a 20% probability. And the bell, we're just abbreviating, has a 10% probability. So it says, what is the probability you get a lemon, cherry, and a bell in that order? So you get a lemon and a cherry and a bell. It's not talking about like in different orders. So it'd be a lemon first. So a lemon, and then a cherry, and then a bell. Not the worst bell. Not the best bell. So a lemon, then a cherry, then a bell. What's the probability of this? Well, you would say you get a lemon, and then you get a cherry, and then you get a bell. We have a really good hint thing, or we did this today in class. We created this table right here showing you that if you're using the word and, then you're doing the multiplication and it needs to be independent, which means each wheel, if one thing occurs on one wheel, it will not influence another wheel. So whatever you get on this wheel, as the rock says, doesn't matter when you look at that next wheel. Whatever you get on this wheel doesn't matter for this next wheel. Those are independent trials of each wheel. So all we have to do is say the probability of a lemon is 30%. The probability of a cherry is 20%. The probability of a bell is this, and we multiply. So the probability would be 30% times 20% times 10%, which is 0.006, I believe. And that's the probability of a lemon, a cherry, and then a bell. In that order. There we go. Supposed event is it takes 15 or more minutes to get to work, and event B is it takes less than 15 minutes to get to work. In the first event, I do want to clarify, if I didn't say it right, 15 or more. 15 or more. And what you're doing right here is you have 2 separate things. You have, it is either the case A, and A would take up the space visually of speaking of 15 or more, and that would be everything A, and then B would be less than 15. So B is this space down below. So B is the space of less than 15. And this is assuming you get to work, which is what is assumed in the problem. And then A is 15 or more. So when you come to campus, it's either going to take you 15 or more minutes or less than 15 minutes. So like you're on campus day and someone say, did it take you Hey, what's up, Ryan? Ryland, good to see you there. Let me do some chapter 10 Pearson quiz. Name the problems you want. We'll do them here next. We'll do 2 versions of this chapter Canvas content. These are complements because they're opposite, kind of opposites. You gotta watch out with saying opposites, though. They take up everything that could occur. So when you do a complement, it's like we did Taylor Swift songs in class. 3 of your 50 songs are Taylor Swift songs. So 47. So this is what a complement is. 47 out of 50 are not Taylor Swift songs. So if this is Taylor Swift, this is not Taylor Swift. So it has to encompass every other possibility. And if you do something plus its complement, so if you have the probability of a Taylor Swift song, which we call the probability of A, plus the probability of not a Taylor Swift song, you're either going to listen to a Taylor Swift song or not a Taylor Swift song. Does that make sense? You say, you're like, I'm either going to listen to a Taylor Swift song or not a Taylor Swift song. And those are what complements are, is like the other thing that could occur out of all possibilities. So this is definitely complementary because either it takes you 15 or more minutes, or it takes you less than 15 minutes. When thinking about what happens with the combination of outcomes, things are simplified. If individual trials are independent, roughly speaking, this means that one outcome of a trial influences or changes the outcome of another. No, that would be dependent. So the definition below is if one outcome influences another, that is dependent. So it should say it does not influence. So it should get 100, unless I've made a mistake here. There we go. We'll do one more version. Ryland, drop your questions, Ryland. There's a lot of chapter 10 questions. There's a lot of them. So which ones do you have, Ryland? Drop them in the chat. We'll do another, see if we get some new stuff. The sampling frame is the list of all possible outcomes. That is false. That is the sample space. Wait, the sampling frame is the list of all individuals we can sample. And the sample space is the list of all possible outcomes. So this is using the sample space here, which we show a sample space down below from the notes today. A sample space is everything that could occur when it comes to trials. So this is a sample space, and the definition of a sample frame is all the individuals or things you can sample from. Yeah, ask away. We'll do this last version right here, and probably pretty easy. We did that one just a moment ago, and we did this one. Check the previous thing. Drop your questions. And probability, the value of each trial is called a consequence. No, it's called an outcome. Ooh, we got a good question in the chat, it looks like. So that is called an outcome. And the outcome is what happens when you have a trial. So there's the outcome word right there. The outcome of a trial is what occurs when you flip a coin. It's a trial. When it lands, it's an outcome. The sample space is every combination of things that could occur. If you're having 2 children with boy and girl outcomes, it'd be boy, boy, girl, girl, boy, girl, girl, boy. And there it is right there. There's the all possible. That'd be a 3 sample space of 3 children. And that's got it. Let's go do some Pearson. Hey, we got good questions in the chat already. Veronica and Ryland, good to see you here. Let's throw you 5,000 points from Mubot. Some Mubucks in the chat. Ma Pearson. How's everyone doing today? Ryland, you doing well? Veronica, you doing well? Thank you both for being here, and thank you everyone. Sometimes I just have to go on a walk after class. I hope everyone understands, like, I used to just like straight go through, and then I slowly went mad. Kind of not joking. Gotta go get some sun. Need some lunch? Yeah, lunch is good. I had my peanut butter and banana sandwich for lunch. It was good stuff. It's like hanging out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. Get some peanut butter sandwiches outside of school. Okay, we almost got the quiz up here going. I feel like it's vague. It probably is. The Save the Pigeons one, I remember that one. We'll do as many of these as we can. Drop all the questions you have. You get to see me get it right or wrong. This is one of the tougher quizzes, even for me. Some of them are vague. I'll just say it. Some of them are. I've done a lot of these. Okay, main screen time. Okay, first one is examine the following for bias. Okay, these are the, why can't I do the easy ones? Why can't I do the easy ones? Maybe we'll have time to do the easy ones. Your 5th attempt. Oh, we'll put everyone you got in here. We'll do them all. It's tricky. Examine the possible for bias. Oh, here it is. Wait. No, that's not it. These are tough. Those are the toughest. We should find it. Getting to the end. That one's an easy one. All right, here we go. Examine each of the following questions for bias. Okay. 1113. Stat Tool 1, Chapter 10 quiz. Examine each of the following for bias. Okay. Should companies, it's not, we'll do another version of it too. Is it similar? Is one of them similar? Because there's different versions of it. Yeah, and there could be, I think there's, oh, is it this one? Is it this one right here? Rylan, yes or no, is it this one? Sometimes when you redo it, there's different versions, but it might be this one. I'll wait for a yes or no from Rylan. I bet it's this one. No, it's not this one. What does yours say after that? I'm seeing that this has different versions. That doesn't. Yeah. So that one right there with them saying companies that donate to children's charities be compelled to donate, by saying the whole like idea that is biased. It's biased towards the answer no. Because just think about this. You're like, these companies already donate. Should they be compelled to pay taxes for childcare? Or like, well, no, they already donate. So like the question should be, should companies pay taxes for childcare? That should be the, does that make sense, Rylan? So the question is biased towards no because you'd think they're already paying it. Like, well, if they're already paying this, they shouldn't pay more. So you're pushing people towards no. And then the question should just be, should you be compelled to pay taxes for childcare or should you pay taxes for childcare? Like, should companies that pollute the environment, this is biased towards yes. A better question should be, should companies be responsible for paying any cleanup costs? Yeah, we shouldn't ask about polluting. We should just say, should companies pay cleanup costs? And it's biased towards yes, because we're saying if they're polluting, shouldn't they pay the cost? Given that 18-year-olds are old enough to smoke, is it fair to set the drinking age to 21? That'd be biased towards no. We should just be asking about the drinking age. So it's biased towards no. Do you think the drinking age should be lowered to 21? Yeah, we shouldn't do a given. That's just bias, So does that, hopefully that makes sense on these two right here. Tell me if you have another one. Do you think high school students should be required to wear uniforms? This is a different. The question, this is a tricky one. Do you think high school students should be required to wear uniforms? The question may be biased towards high school students because it is listed first. It's not really biased, I think. Because it does not, right? No, I think I don't think there's bias. It's just, do you think high school students should be required to wear uniforms? I'm going to go with no bias. Given humanity's great tradition of exploration, do you think that's bias right there? Like the question is leading towards we should continue funding space flight. The question may be biased towards yes, because of great tradition. A better question to believe, do you favor continued funding of space program? That looks good. Let me look at the other yes one. The question may be biased towards yes, it does not provide the full context. A better question would be, no, we shouldn't include the extra stuff. Yeah, there we go. I was a little worried on that first one, but it's just like a question. It's like, a biased question would be, given students make better grades wearing uniforms, do you think students should wear uniforms in school? Or, I'm not saying that's true, I'm just coming up with bias. Or another biased question could be like, given students show high dissatisfactory and disciplinary problems with uniforms, do you think students should be required to wear uniforms? Or like, research shows students really dislike uniforms, do you think students should wear uniforms? A friend is in an intro stats class, wants to do, and then we'll do the next question here. I think we have one more after this. Friend in an intro stat class. You got a friend in an intro stat class? These are the tricky ones. Those are the tricky. A friend of yours in intro stats class. We could do as many of these as we can. Drop your questions. We got yours next, Veronica. I'm gonna do this one and then we'll do the next one. Where is it? Where are you? Sometimes they like change. Oh, there it is. Okay. A friend and drop more questions. We got Veronica's next here. So 1533. Chapter 10 quiz. A friend of yours. Thank you, Veronica. 5,000 points. Appreciate it. It's an easy one. We got this. A friend of yours in intro stats class obtained permission. Oh, they want to sample 50 freshmen, 50 sophomores, 50 juniors, 50 seniors. What is this? Don't even click those answers. If you were in class today, you noticed the acknowledgement of a difference. What sampling method is this where they have, and make sure yours is this. Does yours say 50 freshmen, 50 sophomores, 50 juniors, 50 seniors? Boom, Veronica's got it. It's stratification. Just make sure yours shows that too. That's stratification. Make sure to have those really awesome definitions. We went over this a lot today. Don't worry, it's where people get confused. But stratifying is acknowledging a difference and sampling according to that difference. You're not taking all freshmen, all sophomores, all juniors. People are like, well, 50 is a lot. But that's not a cluster. That's just taking 50 out of the freshmen. It's not taking a cluster like a classroom would be a cluster. People just hear like a lot. You're not doing a census of freshmen, a census of sophomores. That would be cluster sampling, which wouldn't be a good way to do it. Veronica's question is, you recently began an internship. You did? Or I did? If it's you, then it's I did. You recently began an internship. And then drop more questions. Because we're out of questions right now. Then I just had to pick random. I'll pick the easy ones. You recently began an internship. Oh, here it is. Cool. You recently began an internship. Let me get the question marked. We can do a ton of this quiz. Okay, you recently began an internship. Okay, you recently began an internship. Okay. And with that, you were concerned about a city ballot initiative with the environment. You conduct a telephone survey of the residents. What are some possible sources of bias? I'd probably click them all. I would probably, nice job, Ryland, right there. We'll do it next. Response bias would be if you word the questions weirdly, that people are going to be like, you're like, hey, the city wants to know, given that you have a love of pigeons, how much do you think we should save the pigeons? Non-response bias, people aren't going to pick up the phone. Undercover, I mean, these are all, it's just as possible, and it's so vague. It's got to be this. Boom. Yeah, they're all possible when human responses are possible. And then Veronica's got another one. This is going to be tough to find that one, Veronica, because like 50 questions. Can you tell me a little bit more, like, what are you sampling? Is like a farm with carrots? Is it like a carrot farm, a banana farm? I don't know, watermelons? What are they? These ones are interesting, and there's a lot of them, and they're very long. They're very tricky. Those are good set of questions. They're good. They're good. Here, I think it might be one of these. But drop a little bit more of that question. Tell me a little more context. I'll try to find it. We can find that one easy. Some of them are really long. We got Josh filling up his card here. That's the contact. Oh, thank you. We'll find it. Veronica, nice job. We will find that question next here on Stat 201. We got one. This is when Bobby fills up his card. Is that all right, Rylan? This isn't Josh filling up his card. It's Bobby. Is that close? I'm kidding. They changed the name. They're like, oh, they'll never realize it's the same question if we change the name. Rylan approves. So here we go with this question right here. Occasionally, when Bobby fills up his car. Bobby. I watched Bobby's World growing up. It's a good TV show. It was a fun show. What statistic? Let's look what he's doing. Overall, it appears that his car gets 25.5 miles per gallon. So don't even look at the slides. He's saying, my car gets this on what? And you'll have the answer. He says, my car gets this on what? He calculates that his car gets 25.5 miles on average. So this is a sample mean. So he's calculated a sample mean of the gas mileage for population of what he drives. What are they going for here? His car. Yeah, his car. What he drives. And it wouldn't be all cars and not the last four fill-ups. He's trying to estimate the truth of his car. So, wait a minute. He's calculated a sample mean of the gas mileage for. Now, okay, I'm a little worried. It is the mean of his last four fill-ups. That is true. That is his sample. The problem is when they say for, are they trying to say he's calculating this mean to estimate for his car, or this is the sample for four fill-ups? Does that make sense? It's a little vague. I'm going with the last four fill-ups because that is what he calculated the mean of. He found out his average mileage of his last four fill-ups, which can then estimate the truth for his car, which is his parameter of interest. But since they said the sample, and now so we're fine. Because Bobby is trying to estimate the population mean of the gas mileage for what? Now, don't click it, which I just basically said it because I was like, oh, is it saying he's trying to estimate for this, or this is the estimate of it? He's trying to figure out the gas mileage for what? What's it going to say next? I haven't clicked it yet. So what's it going to say? His car. Mm-hmm. He's using his last four fill-ups to estimate the truth for his car. You would never estimate the truth for all cars with this. His results may vary because, like, did he drive, like, city roads last? Was he going, like, cross-country? It depends on, they would be biased if his conditions were not typical. If they were typical, that's fine. Doesn't matter the price of fuel. Rock knows.
It doesn't matter.
If they were not typical, like I said, like he was driving across country and was doing non-typical driving, he might have gotten worse or better mileage. If he's trying to figure out what he gets for his car, his sample should be representative of how he drives and where he drives. So that should be it. The EPA would be trying to estimate the population mean, because they want to estimate the mean too, of the gas mileage of all cars that are of that make and model. That should do it. I said I was going to miss a question or two, but no. I said I was going to cheat. Well, we'll cheat on this next one. Consumer magazine, herbal medicines. Let's find it. Easy peasy. This is literally, you're welcome, Rylan. Keep asking any question you have, and we'll get that 100 for you right there. Tell students, be like, yo, come to office hours. Get it done. We're going to, if you see this, Veronica, let me know if you're like, question this. I saw it for a moment. I might have to go through different versions of these because it looks like they're at the end-ish. Wait, here we go. It's the Consumer Magazine, Herbal Medicines. I've done this one before. I've done a lot of these. This is mayoral candidate. Is that mayoral candidate too? Wait, that was it. Okay, here we go. So for these, my least favorite questions. There. See it. Found it. The way I do these is these are the questions I cheat on. All right, wait. We're going to vote. I'm going to let you vote. I'm going to do what you say. I'm going to put in the note while it is. I'll do what you say. When I cheat, I also look at the answers. I want to do the pulse poll. That one got me last time I did it. It got me. We'll get it right this time, though. I'll do that one next after this. It got me. Okay. Oh, everyone's voting cheat. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll show it in the chat. So people are like, they really said it. There we go. Do it for efficiency. So the population, you should have a definition for. The population is all things we are interested in understanding. Before I click the cheat button, I'm going to tell you what the population is. A U.S. consumer magazine asked all of its adult subscribers. So the population is probably adult subscribers of that magazine. So it's going to be, it's not unclear. Whether they had experienced experimental medical treatments, so they benefited from them. They want to know, what's the population? Everyone who uses, no. It's going to be unclear then. Why do they do this? I think they want to understand the people who read their magazine or U.S. adults. They probably want to understand, but there was no U.S. adults. So if I don't see the answer I want, I'm going to click unclear. Yeah, that's a bit ridiculous. Like, you're like, oh, let's talk to adults on herbal medicines and stuff. Well, you probably want to understand adults. That's the population of interest. What is the population parameter of interest? And they don't even make this super clear. The parameter of interest is what we want to understand about the population. So whether they had benefited from them, that's the parameter of interest. Have you benefited? So remember, the parameter is what you want to understand about a population. So if you look at a cake, the cake's the population. That's what you want to understand. The tastiness of the cake is probably the parameter of interest. What is the sample frame? I think we can do this. It's going to be people who are what to the what. People who are what to the what are the ones they could talk to. So the sample frame you need a definition for is the groups of people or things that they have access to sample. So who does this consumer magazine have access to sample? So who does this consumer magazine have access to sample? We're cheating, but we're going to make sure we know the answer before we even see it. Who do they have access to sample? Yeah, exactly. Who's ever buying the magazine? So it's going to be right there, all subscribers to the magazine. So that's who they have access to. Who is the sample? It's going to be anyone who replies to them. I don't think they say for almost approximately 20%. So that's the sample statistic right there. But it's going to be anyone who actually replied to it from the consumer magazine. All people who responded, all subscribers who responded. What is the sampling method used? This is just where they get wacky. It's going to say like unclear or convenience sample or cluster sample for the magazine. Voluntary. It's just voluntary because they're like, hey, if you want to sign up to this. And so people with strong opinions are going to be likely to respond. They just don't make it clear. Like I was thinking maybe a cluster sample of this one magazine, but that's not the group doing it. I wish they laid it out a lot more clearly, which we do on our tests. We make it very clear what's going on right here. So it is a bit of voluntary sampling, and it's also convenient. Might have got that one wrong. It's not really random because they're just voluntary. Voluntary sampling is not random. If you're looking for the random sampling methods, I think I deleted them today, but the random sampling methods were on this screen right here. They were simple random sample. Yeah, the test is way clear. We're like straight to the point. We use these definitions on the test very, very clearly, and we use words like census when we're talking about clusters. So when you see words like census or you realize you're acknowledging a difference, those are the key things for these two. And then systematic, we always have like a kth observations. This obviously was not systematic. And then simple random sample, everything's enumerated and you're selecting from them randomly. Who'd be left out? It's either no one or people who don't subscribe to the magazine. Yeah. I don't know if they were going to say that, but those who are not subscribed to the magazine will be left out. Yeah. Potential sources of bias. I don't know, but let me look at these. The subscribers could choose to participate. Yeah, okay. Well, since it's voluntary sampling, it's obviously voluntary response bias, obviously. So it's number one for certain. Non-subscribers are not included in the survey. Yeah, it's under coverage too, because we didn't get, so it's voluntary and under coverage. The questionnaire led people. It says what is evident. I think it's only 1 and 2 because they didn't tell us the question, but we know they use voluntary sampling, so there's voluntary bias, and we know that they didn't talk to people outside the magazine, so we know they undercovered people, so it's got to be 1 and 2. There you go. Does that make sense? Veronica, right there. Oh, and there was even 4. I didn't even see 4. Well, wow. Well, good thing there wasn't a 1, 2, 4. Let me see 4. A large number of subscribers did not respond. Actually, you know what? But it says evident. It says evident. These two are still possible, but it says evident. So when they say evident, they're saying like which one of these clearly occurred. And so, but truthfully, either of those last two are possible. It's just that there's always possibilities, but there's clear evident voluntary bias because they did voluntary sampling. There's clear evident under coverage because they did only talk to people in their magazine. So it's a pretty good question. It's just very tricky. It should just be like, was there voluntary bias? Yes, no. Was there under coverage bias? Yes, no. Was there response bias? Like, was there a clear case of response bias in this survey? They're always all possible, but to what degree they occur and what degree can you show they occurred? Good stuff. A local TV station conducted a push poll. I like doing that so I don't tell you wrong answers as we do it, because I'll get one wrong every once in a while on those. Because I'll like misthink it. I'll be like, well, it is kind of this. This one, I finally put in my head yesterday how they want it answered. And they're right. It's very exact wording. I just think when you can talk to someone about it without using their exact wording, you can say it better. So I'm going to tell you what happened here. A local TV station, during their evening broadcast, ran a poll about someone possibly being the mayor. And with that, the person got 52% of the vote. So think, yes or no, do you think that person is likely to win if they're said to get 52% of the vote? Like you're like, oh, you're going to get 52% of the vote. Depends on, it's like, well, how'd you poll? Who'd you poll? What'd you do? I talked to my friends. Oh, that's a very convenient sample. Yeah, sort of, right? So then it matters. Did we have any sort of bias? Or you notice it points out two things, sampling error or bias. So sampling error goes to, the way they're using the term sampling error right here is the way in which they sampled caused an error that led to the person not winning. So the way they did their sampling had an error. But then there is bias, which is things like response bias, like the way they worded their question, non-response bias, people who didn't respond have different views than those who did, under coverage, which, well, dang it, because you can make the case for that. But what they're going for here is that the way they conducted and created their sample from the people who watched the evening news was biased. So they're going for a sampling error. I know I just said bias, but they're going for a sampling error, that there was an error in the way they created their sample. So sampling error here means an error in the way you created your sample. And I believe we're going to have this one right here. The station's faulty prediction is a result of sampling error. The sampling message suggests that the sample should be representative of voters, and the method is performed poorly. Thus, the sample-to-sample differences can be true to sample variability. Oh my gosh. All right. Let me look at this one. The description of the sampling method suggests that the sample should be representative of the viewers. Oh, yeah. The description of the sampling method is part 2 of that one. I'm not sure of. We'll do that one next. You got it. I'm a little worried now. Let me look at they were wrong. Okay. The station's faulty prediction is a result of sampling error. The description of the sampling message suggests that the sample should be representative of the viewers of the TV station. But you don't want that. However, not every viewer, that doesn't, then they're not trying to, I think A is wrong. I'll be really mad if A is right. Stay tuned for the future. The station's faulty is relative sampling error. The sample method suggests that the samples will be representative of voters. That's what they're trying to figure out. And the method is performed poorly. True. But it wouldn't be sampling variability then. Like, thus the sample to sample differences can be treated to that. Let me look at these last other ones. The station's faulty prediction is a result of bias. The TV station could select which voters to count when they're not going to do that. The station's faulty prediction is a result of bias. The description of the sampling message suggests that samples should be representative of viewers of the TV station. Evening viewers may be more likely to vote Amiibo. This literally screams to me the answer. And that's what I thought. It's this one. I literally hate this question. I hate this question. I hate this question. I'm going to delete this question. You know what? We should leave this question. It's a free question. I want to talk to the... I'm going to ask ChatGPT for a full explanation on this question. Let me go back here. Let me go... I need to remove the little thing on this. We're going to get a full ChatGPT. What is the answer and why? Okay. That is just... Every time this question, I'm like... Okay. Let me drop this in here. Can I paste it? What is the answer to this question and why? Fully explain. I did this one yesterday and I got it wrong too. I should have been like, what answer do I think is wrong? I am very, very unhappy with not being able to explain this properly. We'll see what ChatGPT. We actually used ChatGPT in class today and it got it wrong. And Veronica, I'll get yours going here next. 2 members of the PTSA. I can do that one. That's one of my favorite ones. We'll come back to ChatGPT there. ChatGPT, you do your thing. Can you please do the doing a study for nonprofit? Yeah, we'll do one too. You got it. We got the PTA. We'll come back to the local TV station. Find out what the heck's going on at that local TV station. I think it's undercoverage bias. I think it's that you talk to people at the wrong time. 2 members of the PTA for only one question wrong today. One question, we're going at like 93%. We're making it 93 in the class. We're good with that. Okay. The question says, question 1, should elementary school children have to pass high-stakes tests in order to remain with their classmates? I mean, do you think responses to these questions might differ? Oh, because the second one. Should schools and students be held accountable for meeting yearly learning goals by testing students before they advance to the next grade? The first one kind of puts the accountability on the student, and the second one puts the accountability on the school. So I'd say there's yes. I said the responses to one is no. I think they will differ. I think these 2 questions will differ. Yeah, you said no to the first, yes to the second. Yeah, I think that's what it is. The answers to these questions will definitely differ. Question 1 might get towards no because you're making it sound like the student's responsible, and the second puts on the school's onus. Propose a question with more neutral wording. Is it appropriate to use standardized tests to rate a student's intelligence? Do you think standardized tests are appropriate for deciding whether a school should be promoted, a student should be promoted? Should students be held back for below average? Do you think standardized tests should be used to determine if a student is capable of handling material taught in the next grade? Do you think standardized tests are appropriate for deciding whether a student should be promoted to the next grade? Is it appropriate to use standardized tests to rate a student's intelligence in order to decide whether students... My gosh, these are all very similar. You did the second one here? I was leaning towards that. Do you think standardized tests are appropriate for deciding whether a student should be promoted to the next grade? So should students be held back? Held back kind of has some language to it for below average scores on standardized tests. That makes it sound like, oh, you shouldn't... I mean, what do you do? But do you think standardized tests should be determined if a student is capable? We don't want to say students are capable or not. Do you think standardized tests are appropriate for deciding whether a student should be promoted to the next grade? Is it appropriate to use standardized tests to rate a student's intelligence? We're not rating their intelligence. Yeah. It's like, someone's going to be like, are we rating their intelligence now? It's not really what a standardized test does. Make sure you understand the material. So it's saying the answer is B. Was the answer B? Wait. Didn't I say the answer is B? ChatGPT agrees with me. Random chance fluctuation from a properly randomized sample. Bias. ChatGPT agrees with me on this one. Remember where I clicked B and I said evening news viewers might be more likely to vote for a Mabo? That's what I said. Well, check out the video to see which one's the right one. It says the answer is what again? Let's go click that answer. And it was 2022, right? It says the answer is, I'm just clicking through. It says the answer is D. Okay, the next one we're doing here is, I think Maddie's got one. Can you please do, you are doing a study for nonprofit. Let's do the nonprofit and then the yellow page contents. I disagree. I have hated that one. I have hated that question for the longest time. Yeah. Well, there you go. It disagrees. I disagree too. Let's see right here. A study nonprofit. We've done a lot. We did a few of these. Or one of those. Nonprofit. I haven't seen that one much. If you see your number, just let me know the number. We can go back to it really easy. We did Major League Baseball yesterday. Did that one today. Large companies. Can you do one about potato chips? Which one's that one, Zimon? What's it say? If you see the number, let me know. Did I miss the nonprofit one? Oh, here we go. Here's nonprofit. Yay! Quick one. Let's do it. Here we are, and drop the starts. We got Veronica's next, then Zimon's question next. Okay. You are doing nonprofit. Okay. Suppose you know that 14.2%. Yep. Now, this is a known truth, which I don't know how you know it, but a known truth as a number. Yep. A known truth as a number is a population parameter. So remember, you can only say population parameter or a sample statistic. If this came from 100 people, it would be a sample statistic. So it is population parameter. It's the known truth of a population, some quantity or value that is the truth. Usually you want to understand it. It's kind of weird. I guess maybe the city has numbers on this. So you could say via annual reporting, the city says that 14.2% of children are in poverty. And that wouldn't really be a statistic. It'd be a parameter for the population. What's up, Colin? Colin at Disney, the goat over there. So glad to see you here. Was talking about some of our amazing students today. And I forgot to mention Colin. I was mentioning Nanika. And shouts to Colin right there. And we got, is this question one for my quiz? It's one of the long ones asking about, oh yeah, we'll drop that in here, Zimon, and tell me some context. We'll do it after Veronica's question here. Oh, the potato chips. Yeah, okay, I'll find it. Considering, do you think the proposed sampling method is appropriate? Okay. Considering, do you think it's appropriate? We're gonna find that. So many questions. Oh. See, now I don't want an energy drink. My body's like, where's the energy drink, man? Where's the energy drink? Mubot advertising the Discord. Hope those links still work. And then we'll find some potato chips. I mean, not literally. Maybe literally. Tron Ares? Oh, we were talking about it today. We were saying we're going to Tron in. Oh, wait. Cullen, have you seen this yet? Check this out.
Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
It's morbid time.
There we go. There you go, Colin. Shout out some. I think Colin likes it. Tron Ares, check it out. Brian cooked. It's one of the new things this semester. We have found thing. I think. Yeah, Colin, give your views on it. So many good movies out these days. It's a lot of fun times. Love the Marvel stuff and everything. Do I have one drop of drink left? One drop. Okay. Consider each of the situations. Good enough to see twice? Oh, Colin right there. I like that. Good enough to see twice. So check it out. We want to know what % of local doctors do not accept patients without medical insurance. We call the offices of 50 doctors randomly selected from the yellow pages. Now here's, it probably is, and I'll explain. Good answers, Veronica. I think it's probably undercoverage because the yellow pages you have to pay money to advertise for, so you're getting people who are paying money to advertise. So it's probably undercoverage. It's not that people won't pick up the phone, which is more of this right here. Non-response is not picking up the phone. So I think it's undercoverage too. We want to know the % of local business anticipated sales to decrease in the upcoming month. You select a page on the yellow pages and call every... Wasn't this the same thing? Isn't this the same thing? It's not appropriate. Yeah, let's see. The sample... Let me read this fully. Sampling method is not appropriate. This method will probably result in undercoverage of those doctors did not purchase. That's true. We want to know the % of local businesses anticipating sales to decrease in the upcoming months. We select a page in the yellow pages. Why do they keep doing that? After it was not appropriate. The sample will probably contain listings from only one or two types. Yeah. Because when you go to the yellow pages, gosh, they really want you to have some old school understanding. We got everything right here. Boop. Got it right. When you go to the yellow pages, it's broken up by like pizza places because it's alphabetized. So you go in, you go to P for pizza because the yellow pages is like plumbers and pizza and like, gosh, they expect students to understand how phone books used to work. So if you select a page or two from the yellow pages, you're not going to really have undercoverage at that issue. I mean, you'll have some undercoverage too, but you're calling all the pizza places and they're like, man, pizza's been not selling lately. And you're like, well, I guess sales are down across businesses. And you're like, no, you just sampled pizza places. And it's an undercoverage then too. So they could have said it's an undercoverage because you're not covering different types of businesses. And also you're doing it within yellow pages. It's a double undercoverage. Whoa. Double undercoverage. Yeah. Let's go find that potato chip question. Potato chips. Tomatoes. Is this potato chip? Pretzels. I think this is it. Let's see. We're looking for Zemont. Oh, did we not get this one? Can you explain the difference between show fit for it? Oh, wait. Oh, Mackenzie, how did I miss Mackenzie's question? Mackenzie, I'm going to bookmark this for you next. I don't even know how I didn't even see. Mackenzie, I'm sorry. Here, let me, I got your question listed here, Mackenzie. I don't even know how I didn't see that. Google Docs. I'm going to be like, Mackenzie, I'm going to tell her. Okay, I got it on the screen over here so I can see it. How did I not even see that? My brain just turned off. Okay, I'm going to tell Mackenzie it's in the video here for 475. Thank you so much. Mackenzie, if you're still here, 5,000 points, or for everyone being here. I don't even know how I didn't see that. I think I thought it was like a stat to one question. My brain was like, I'll look at that in a moment here, like it's a longer one. But I'm going to tell Mackenzie, like, I'll put that in the video. Okay, for the following report again, for the following potato chips. We're doing pretzels, though. I think it's the same thing. So in this instance right here, the population of interest is everything they want to understand. So they're going to say the population is unclear again. Oh, no, it's all bags of pretzels produced by the company. How in the world are you supposed to do that when a company packaging pretzels may maintain quality control by selecting 10 cases from each day's productions and weighing the bags? Then they open 5 random bags from each and inspect the contents. So it's bags of pretzels produced by the company. So yours is probably bags of potato chips produced by the company. Does that make sense, Zimon, right there? So bags of potato chips produced by the company. What is the parameter of interest? Well, it looks like they're trying to figure out how good the pretzels are, or potato chips. It is kind of unclear. It's some sort of quality control. I don't see quality control, so I think it's unclear. Boop. It's some sort of quality control. Yeah, we're going to do 475 next, and then we'll do the large company managers. You got it. And thank you, everyone, for being... Maddie, I think I saw Maddie's question, and I didn't see Maddie versus Mackenzie. I think both your things are a blue M. Yes, they are! Okay, good. I hope Mackenzie sees this, or I'll tell them when I see them in class. That was only 9 minutes ago or so. Cool. All right, I'll make sure I'll tell them. Okay. And what is the sample frame? What would the sample frame be? They go in that day. So they select 10 cases from each day's production. So what is going to be the sample frame, which is all things they have access to sample. Every time you hear sample frame, you need a definition that comes in your head. You hear all things they have access to sample. So what do they have to have access to sample? They go in that day and sample 10 cases. So it's potato chips made that day. Should be. Potato chips made that day. The bags they make that day. What is the sample? It's going to be, yep, the bags they make that day. Good to see it, John, too. The bags they make that day are the ones they can sample from. Select 10 cases from each day's production and weigh the bags. So it's going to be all bags in the 10 cases. It's kind of a cluster sample at this point. So it's 50 because I guess there was 5, it said, right? They opened 5 random bags. Oh, so they're not doing a cluster. They're taking 5. Yeah, so it's 50 because 5 times 10. So I forgot the 5 bags they're taking. I thought they were taking all the 10 cases. Be very careful. It's not the 10 cases. The sample is literally what you get data on. And I saw the 10 cases, but then they opened 5 bags. So it's literally they could get any bag from that day. It's not the 50 bags that they have access to. They have access to any bag that day. That's the sample frame. It's very important. What sampling method is used? It's not really a cluster. It's kind of convenient. Multi-stage. I wish they were more specific on this. And there is randomness. Yeah, they literally say random, so it is random. So was randomness input? Yes. I don't think they're leaving anything out. I don't think there's any bias. This is standard procedure at a company to go in and select random bags. So you're going to get no bias here. No bias right there and no bias. Because why would there be? Like, you're not selecting the first potato chips of the day, which would be convenience bias. You're not taking only from one machine, which would be under coverage. If there was some sort of like, they only go to line A to take potato chips, well, then you're going to undercover the productions at other lines that could have issues. So you want to look for things like that that are inherent, not like a what if, like, well, what if they go during the morning? Well, they don't say that. So you have to find things that are right there. Lola, good to see you there. We're going to do a little, you're welcome. Yeah, Zimon, I hope you got a much better grade. Is there any other ones? We have at least one more question, and the one from me. Can you explain the difference between this from task 2, showed a fitted forecast 12 months, and from task 3, the overall versus the actual forecast for 474. Yeah, 475, excuse me. So let me mark that in the notes. Okay. And let's show that right here. 48. You can see some cool stuff right here. Office hours, you're welcome. Thank you so much, everybody. This is BAS 475, and this is fitted forecast versus predicted and actual. Okay. And so I'm going to pull up the FPP3 book right here, and we'll show a little bit of the graphics I'm wanting people to get. And we're going to go down here to Forecaster's Toolbox, and let's look at what we have. Okay. So this graphic, especially right here, is a forecast going forward. So especially to the question where it says a 12-month ahead forecast. This is what we're looking for a 12-month ahead forecast. So when you look at a 12-month ahead forecast, you really only want, if you're displaying this in a graphic to somebody, you really only want, this is 2 different models right here. So you're looking at 2 different models. You really only want to show, you can show multiple models, but you want to show the going forward. We're talking about this region right here. And you can do this with multiple models. The book does this really well when it displays different models. And there's another model going forward into the future that looks like a mean model or a naive model. Not the mean, what am I saying? The mean would be more towards here. That's a naive model right there. And I believe we should be about in the region now. Let's go see. That's, ooh, actually this kind of has, to Mackenzie's question, this has both things. So we'll do it right here. This is the fitted model across the data. And this is the forecast model. In Stat 201, forecasting is known as what going into the future. If we say, so Stat 201ers, Chapter 8, forecasting is what into the future. Forecasting is whating into the future. Because you don't have data there on your x-axis. Forecasting is whating into the future in 475. Extrapolating, John knows right there, that's extrapolation into the future. And so these are the actual values. So this is the actual data right here. I'm just gonna actual data. So this is the actual data. You can calculate residuals and all that stuff in time series also. So we have the actual data, the fitted model across the data, and the forecast model. So I'll tell Mackenzie drop this in. I hope she's still here to see this. But there's the actual data, the forecasted model on top of it, and the fitted model. It's not really forecasting because it's not predicting the future. The forecast doesn't happen until you go to a time period beyond the current time period. So the fitted model would be across the data. The actual data is the points themselves. And this is the more trend and seasonality. Like, this isn't your model. Those points are not the model. The model is the fitted model right there. That is the fitted model. But does anyone notice any other tool one concepts? Like, you can do residuals in this. You can figure out that residual there. And we can do residual plots and look at to see how the residuals are here. And there's the residuals, time order of the residuals. You can see that big spike right there in the series. And that's when we get that huge jump that the model does really poorly, because all of a sudden we have a big miss. It's much higher than expected. So you can look at your residuals too and look for time order problems of the residuals and see here. So we learn how to analyze these graphics. And you've seen the normal curve before, and this is actually correlation right here. And that's actually statistically significant, but these are all likely by random chance, probably. And there's a big residual, extreme residuals. So there's like 3, 4-ish huge residuals that are major, major issues. And they show up down here in the histogram also. But to Mackenzie's question specifically, make sure to have that fitted model along with the data, along with the forecast. There we go. Good question. And we have at least one more from 201. The managers at a large company. Anyone in 201 like, oh man, I want to take some time series? Anyone? I promise if you get to that class, you'll be like, this stuff's easy. Easier. It's always easier with all the prerequisite knowledge. Could you do managers at the bookstore? I might have been more towards the start. We've done a lot today. We've done all these questions right here. Go. So many questions. Any last ones here? Is this the Texas A&M? You got it, Maddie. This is managers of a this is it. Managers of a large company. Okay, and then we'll do the bookstore one. You got it. You got it, dude. Stat 201, chapter 10 quiz. And the managers of a large company. Okay. The managers of a large company want to know if their workers are extremely satisfied with their work. The company rarely has 41,000 employees, roughly has. The company is considering ways to survey their employees. For each of the designs below, identify the problem. Leave a stack of surveys out in the employee cafeteria so they can pick them up and return them. That's about a horrible way to do it. We definitely know there's no problems. I wouldn't say response bias because there's the question. It talks nothing about the question wording or the way we're conducting it. It's I can't remember if this is one of the ones that gets me, but they're doing it in a really easy way, and people with strong opinions are likely to respond. So I'm going with those two. I'm gonna be really mad if it's not both those. Identify problems with this proposed design. Stuff a questionnaire in the mailbox of each employee with the request that they fill it out and return it. So it's probably gonna be voluntary. They didn't do a convenience, and yeah, I think that's gonna be it. So convenience usually goes with the way you set up your survey, that it's really easy and you're getting the easiest people to access. So you're just putting surveys out in the cafeteria is very convenient for you. You're not going through the extra effort of putting one in everybody's mailbox. Voluntary bias goes with people with strong opinions being more likely to respond. So in both cases, people with strong opinions are probably going to be the ones who tell you how they feel, as with like, how do you feel for or against something? But the first one suffers more from convenience bias because you're just putting a stack out somewhere and just saying, take one. You're not actually making the effort to get a hold of each person by putting it in their box, which could then suffer from people with strong opinions. Does that make sense, Maddie? So once again, voluntary bias is when people with strong opinions are more likely to respond. People in the middle kind of go meh and they don't respond. And then convenience bias is when you set up your survey in such a way that is much easier for people to respond. Like, you're accessing easy people to get to. You're not getting a real view of your population. You're just getting easy people. Texas A&M question next. Steve and I try to I say it again to make sure I keep it straight in my head. Is it this one, Maddie? Yes or no? I think it is this one, right? We're going so fast. People say slow down. No one says slow down. Is it this one? Yes, and thank you. You're welcome anytime. Thank you for being here. I mean, I think it's easy to just get these done. Administrators. I think we only got one wrong today, which I'm really happy about. Of course, I cheated on 2. You don't gotta tell me that. Administrators at the Texas A&M University are trying to figure out how to sample students, it looks like. Select several dormitories at random and contact everyone living in that dorm room of those dormitories. That is clearly what kind of sampling. Clearly, if you select several dormitories at random and you then take everybody in those dorms, very clearly what? Very clearly what? Very, very clearly. Oh, don't worry. In this practice, 5,000 points. Merritt says, everybody in that dorm, everybody. That is going to be a cluster sample. Great work. And we're throwing another 5,000 points. Don't worry. If you're here, you're getting points. That's the way it goes. You got a ton of points from that. Use a computer-based system to sample 100 freshmen, 100 sophomore, 100 juniors, 100 seniors. They're what? No worries. Wait, ready for this one? They're acknowledging a difference, and they're saying we want 100 freshmen, 100 sophomores, 100 juniors. They're starting by acknowledging a difference. They're very clearly whatting there. When they say let's take 100 sophomores, so they're looking at class and saying let's figure out a way to get a certain amount of each class. So what are they doing right here? These are the two that people get mixed up all the time. Remember, we practiced in class and only like 60% got it. Write these down. What are they doing when they take 100 sophomores, 100 freshmen, all these things right here? They're whatting. What are they doing? What are they doing? Stratifying. They're acknowledging a difference in the sampling, the groups with those differences. Next, they're taking every 40th name from a list from a random spot that is very clearly systematic. Start at a random spot and select every kth observation. So yeah, really good. These are my favorite questions. This is more how the test looks. If you want to know how the test looks on these definitions of stuff, we don't have some like vague multi-stage sampling on the test. We're very clear on what we say the steps are, where it's when you stratify, you acknowledge a difference, and you sample according to that difference. When you cluster sample, you have groups, and you take a census on the full group. So when you see keywords like contact everyone living in that dorm, that is the census. We even throw that word on there every once in a while, but that's got it. Well, John and Mackenzie, great work right there. Oh, Mackenzie, yeah, actually, you're here, Mackenzie. Mackenzie, I literally saw Mackenzie and Maddie, and the names are almost similar in length, but I'm glad I was able to help out with that. My hair's just gonna look crazy. Can you do the one about the pretzel? I think we just did the pretzel company. Yeah, at 44-minute mark in. So check that out, Lola. I think we just did that one a little bit ago. We did the pretzel one. You know what? Let's do it again real quick right here. Let's do it. Yeah, no, I'll tell you what. Let's do it. I'm going to try to do it without cheating. You ready? What is the population of interest? This company is very interested about the pretzels they make. So not the consumers, the bags of pretzels produced by the company. That's what they want to understand. The population of interest is what we want to understand. What is the parameter of interest? It's pretty unclear. It's probably something about how good the pretzels are. These pretzels are making me thirsty. I can't remember what that Seinfeld reference is. What is the sampling frame? These are the pretzels they have access to sample. So this would be all pretzels produced that day because they could theoretically take any pretzels from that day. Now, the pretzels they take are their sample, but the pretzels they have access to are any pretzels made that day. The sample is going to be the 50 bags of pretzels they get. They have 10 cases, and they're taking 5 random bags from each thing. So there's going to be 50 random bags of pretzels that are the sample. This is some sort of weird multi-stage that they're not very descriptive on. They're just kind of doing multiple steps here, going and getting the 10 cases and getting 5 bags within. It's almost stratification on cases. It's a multi-stage according to them, though. They really should be more specific on that. That's a bit ridiculous. The question says they randomly selected them, so randomization was employed. Now, here's the thing. Going and getting random bags is a pretty good way of getting a random sample. I'd say this is pretty not biased because you get in random bags and you're just seeing how good they are. Sounds to me like we made 100. There we go. I just hate it when they say it's unclear. I remember doing this years ago, like 7 years ago, forever ago. And the ones that are it's like, well, that's unclear. It's like, why do you put that in a question? Or at least make it really unclear. Like, be like, they're collecting potato chip bags. Like, and this isn't, don't even say they inspected or anything. Just be like, the company collects potato chip bags. They're not even a potato chip company. So what are they trying to analyze? No one knows. The parameter of interest is what we want to understand about the potato chips. Probably like, is the bag sealed properly? Like, that would be a parameter of interest. Like, what percent of bags are sealed properly? Or is the bag filled to the right amount? You're welcome, Lola. That would be a parameter of interest. Like, was the bag filled properly? Do the potato chips look of good quality in the bag? Yes or no? How many potato chips are in the bag? The average amount of potato chips in the bag. Those could all be parameters of interest. And then we'd have a sample statistic of an estimate of the truth. With that, teaching class here soon. Bye for now, everyone. Bye.